A historic landmark in the border city has been in need of repairs for over 2 decades. Robert Buffum went looking for answers today as to when it might get fixed.
One of the oldest buildings in the border city stands at the demarcation of Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's the old post office building, rebuilt in 1931 after the original was destroyed by the fire of 1929. The landmark building houses a giant clock, something not uncommon for great communities of the world. Think London's Big Ben, Parliament Hill, or even ancient Egypt's sundials. But what's different about this grand timepiece is that it doesn't work. Its hands frozen at 5 minutes to 6, something seemingly unnoticed by most. Did you know that clock's not working?
No, I didn't notice it.
How often have you come by here?
Every day.
And you've never noticed it's not working?
Never.
30 years.
And you've never noticed that it's broken?
No, can't say I paid attention to it.
Angela Anderson works at Ernie's Cafe in the Heritage Building. She was born and raised in Lloyd and knows the clock's been broken for close to 25 years.
As a child, it was working. I remember hearing the dongs. But, I mean, I had to be maybe 10.
It's not all bad. The clock is correct twice a day, and other clocks in the world have become famous for being broken. Perhaps none more so than the clock in Grantchester, England, stuck for hundreds of years and immortalized by wartime poet Rupert Brooke. In his poem, The Old Vicarage, Grantchester, he famously wrote, "Stand the clock at 10 to 3, and is there honey still for tea?" We spoke with City Hall, who refused to say when or even if the clock will ever get repaired. So we thought we'd try to immortalize it with some creative verses of our own. Some of it was more like haiku. We'll try it again. The clock is stuck at 5 to 6.
The traffic is backed up because the train is here.
The clock is stuck at 5 to 6.
Let's get it fixed.
Walk around and take some pics.
Clock is stuck at 5 to 6.
It's time to get the darn thing fixed.
Well, we may not have found Lloydminster's next poet laureate, and in fact the best I can come up with is the clock is stuck at 5 to 6. I'm going into Ernie's for my coffee fix. City Hall did tell us there's a big announcement in the works about the clock, and our sources say work is underway to have it up and ticking by the fall. Robert Buffum, Newcap News.
Weather conditions not only contribute to how well a crop will produce, but it also plays a role for other issues such as disease and insects. In this week's crop report, Shauna Roshuk explains what additional concerns the recent weather conditions have added for farmers.
Below seasonable weather conditions dominated the month of July. Temperatures were below average and there was 1.5 times more rain that fell across the region. This has not slowed down the growing season. However, leaf disease in cereals has been a concern.
Ergot could become an issue in the fall. Fusarium may be becoming an issue out here because of the humid, wet weather.
There is an upside. Klimek says insects have not been an issue so far this year.
It has seemed to get rid of the bugs, so things like grasshoppers aren't as much of an issue this year.
As long as Mother Nature cooperates for August and into the fall, Klimek says the remainder of the growing season and into harvest is still on schedule.
We're starting to see the canola pod out, and wheat and barley is just starting to ripen, so everything looks like it's going to be on schedule as long as we get some normal or above normal temperatures, and the rain kind of will stay away for a little while.
Shauna Roshuk, Newcap News.
After the break, the horrific events happening in Syria are also affecting people in Canada. We'll tell you more coming up after the break.